morning, everyone. Tire Metalhead Weatherman here. Hopefully, everyone's doing well in the start of the week here, and we're getting ready to gear up on this end for the threat of severe weather today. We've been talking about this for about a week and a half now, close to 2 weeks now. Not much has changed since the video we put up yesterday evening with the heightened tornado threat and the wind threat. In case you missed it, enhanced risk for today, threat for strong to violent tornadoes are possible and seeming more likely as we get later into the evening today. So that being said, we're definitely concerned about this little 10% area over here. I think this corridor in particular, right over here between Jackson and Alexandria, is what interests me most. And then of course this little secondary region over here. So pretty much this sector right here is where I'm thinking a lot of activity is going to start to jump off here. I mean, we could still see some a little further off to the west, of course, too. And even beyond the 10% area, of course, even into the 5%, 2% area can't be ruled out. But this area right here has been the area that's been getting my attention the most over the last few days based off of model guidance. So with that being said, definitely going to be keeping an eye on this. Also, one thing to make note of is the fact that these storms are looking like they're going to also be kind of linear. The potential for high precipitation storms is also likely, and also fast moving storms. So like I said, this could be a pretty dangerous night. We will be going live today at around 7:30, 7:45. At least that's the goal. We'll have to see how work and other things play out, but definitely going to be on here for the first time in a while. It's kind of surreal to say that considering how the year started out. But anyway, pretty much the summary is going as follows. Severe storms likely, damaging winds, several tornadoes possible along the lower Mississippi Valley and southeastern states. There is chances for large hail as well. And pretty much what we're looking at here, based off of what the synopsis is going to be this jet streak that's prevalent at 500 millibar range. And then also at the low levels, we have some pretty strong shear going on here. We pretty much have explained the 500 millibar region to death here at this point as far as wind shear is concerned. But this is the main detail that I'm really harping on at this point now, is the low level jet. We're pretty well established with the low and mid levels as far as the threat's concerned, but you can see this pocket right here is what really concerns me at this point. When you see something like that in the 850s, that's always something to keep an extra close eye on here. So in case anyone doesn't see that on the and that's moving, but in case anyone can't see the legend key right here, that's over 50 knots of low level jet right there. Usually at minimum you want to see 30, so we're well over the threshold at this point for sure. So with that, it's not going to take too much to get these storms going here, especially with the amount of cape that we'll have available as well. Drag this forward and you can still see that we have a sufficient amount of cape. It doesn't have to be 3,000-4,000 joules per kilogram, which is kind of like what we were seeing during the summer. All you really need is about 1,000. In fact, I remember a fair number of tornado outbreaks where you had about maybe 1,500 or less, sometimes even less than 1,000. But yeah, these numbers are more than ideal enough for supercells. And actually, if you really think about it, the less cape you have, the better, because it can allow for less storms to form, to create a environment where there's not too much in the way to keep these storms from inhibiting themselves. Because when you get too many storms in an environment, actually what will end up happening is these storms will compete for this energy right here that we see indicated on the cape here, and as a result, these storms can sometimes end up competing with each other, choking each other out, so to speak. Yeah, it turns into an MMA match. But nonetheless, here, all jokes aside, this is a pretty gnarly looking setup here, especially for second season. Not uncommon, but nonetheless, definitely something to keep an extra close eye on. As far as inhibition is concerned, there's not really much to worry about, so we're just going to jump straight to the significant tornado parameter here. There's some decent values that pop up earlier in the day, but these really start to pick up right around that 22Z time frame, between 6 and 7 o'clock. We see some 3s on here, maybe even a potential for a little bit of pink in here, which would be indicator 4. In fact, there is a 4 right there. And here's our sounding, which is actually very impressive. Our 0 to 1 wind shear is looking pretty strong at this point, getting close to 50 knots, which is exactly what I was talking about earlier. Very concerned, like I said, I'm very concerned about a lot of that low-level shear being possible here. Lapse rates aren't too steep, so the hail threat isn't going to be insane, but one does exist. It's even indicated on the significant hail parameter here. There's even a sounding analog to go with it. But if you look at the numbers here, like I said, Cape's not incredibly robust, but more than sufficient enough. Inhibition's very low. D-Cape is actually lower than what I'm used to seeing, of course, but that's how it goes during the fall. But even so, 697, there's damaging wind potential there as well. But I really think the main threat today could be tornadoes. How many is still up in the air, but if we look at all the other parameters here, it's looking pretty gnarly here. I'm actually going to save this so I can send to my buddies on Discord here. But anyway, we keep things moving here. We move into the next couple frames. You can see those numbers persisting even into the OOZ time frame, which would be about 7, 8 o'clock Central. And really, these numbers don't drop until, I would say, 03Z. So like I said, overnight event definitely seems like it could be on the cards here. So last but not least, let's actually look at the timing of the storms, because while, yes, it's great to see the significant tornado parameter, and it's very useful at times, it's not a set in stone type of deal. More than the best way to look at the timing of the storms is, of course, looking through composite reflectivity, which is what we're seeing here. But 20Z, we're already starting to get going here. We're getting underway at this point. You can actually even see a little bit of a confluence band forming up here to the north, and I think this is what's going to help really get things going here. I see an updraft helicity right here in this region, which is definitely notable, of course, but once we get towards 23 to OOZ, that's definitely something we're going to need to watch even more closely. It's right in that corridor that I've been talking about as well. We can see other little kidney beans right here, which is indicative of supercells right here, discrete supercells, which is definitely not what we're wanting to see around 02Z. And then we see that continue to persist even into the overnight hours, which is, like I said, it's very concerning to see that look. And then also another thing, and I said this in the last video as well, keep in mind that during this time of year, the sun sets a lot quicker. So as a result, nocturnal severe weather is almost a given the setup. The timing of this is almost going to be completely nocturnal. So if you happen to have any tornado warning, make sure you heed it. Don't try to go and look for it, because you're more than likely not going to see it. But that being said, hope you guys stay weather aware and stay safe, especially any of you that are over here towards Louisiana and Mississippi, Texas as well, Arkansas too. Haven't forgotten about you either. But that being said, got to get out of here and get ready for work. I will see you guys this afternoon, hopefully. And until then, it's been Tyler Metalhead Weatherman. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And have a good day.